Call the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Roulette? Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item will be the moment of silence by our Vice President, Mr. Jerry Denton.
As we begin this meeting, let us pause for a 60-second moment of silence to reflect, meditate, pray, or engage in other silent activity.
The republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Denton. Next item will be the approval of the board meeting minutes from May the 6th. Do we have any discussion?
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second. Got a motion, a second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item, Ms. Barber.
Well, good evening, President Allen, Mr. Perry, and members of the board. It is my honor tonight to celebrate a phenomenal educator. Her name is Ms. Deanne Deason, and I'm actually going to turn it over to Ms. Haley Hoover, who's our secondary science instructional coach, because when I reached out to the organization, the Oklahoma Science Teachers Association, they told me that Haley Hoover is actually a leader within that organization, so she's going to be presenting the award to Ms. Deason, and then I know Ms. Deason has a couple words to share with you this evening.
Good evening. Each year, the Oklahoma Science Teachers Association celebrates exemplary science educators through its awards process. Awards reflect excellence in teaching, commitment to professional growth, and numerous contributions to science education in Oklahoma. One of our most distinguished of these awards is the Jack Renner Distinguished Service to Oklahoma Science Education Award. Dr. John W. Jack Renner was a professor of science education and physics at the University of Oklahoma. His research on science learning was strongly influenced by a combination of John Piaget's ideas on intellectual development and his commitment to independent thought and action. Dr. Renner became a major influence in science education through his research and teaching. He received many awards during this time for his outstanding work in science education, and he served in important leadership positions in the world of science education. In honor of Dr. Jack Renner, this Lifetime Achievement Award recognizes outstanding individuals for their contributions, not only to science education, but specifically to science in the state of Oklahoma. The 2024 Jack Renner Distinguished Service to Oklahoma Science Education Award has been awarded to Broken Arrow's Deanne Deason. Ms. Deason has served 33 years teaching science in Oklahoma public schools and currently teaches AP Environmental Science at Broken Arrow High School. She graduated from Broken Arrow High School, earned her bachelor's degree from Oklahoma Christian University, and her master's degree from the University of Oklahoma. Ms. Deason adds the Jack Renner Award to her impressive list of career accolades, including being an Oklahoma City Excellent Educator finalist, Disney Teacher of the Year nominee, Who's Among Who on America's Teachers awardee, Taft Teacher of the Year, Oklahoma City Teacher of the Year finalist, Science Department Chair, Team Leader, Cooperating Teacher for multiple student teachers, and Mentors to First-Year Teachers, Oklahoma City Public School District's Trainer of Trainers, OKCPS Curriculum Development Team Member, Science and Limited English Proficiency Team Member, Department of Environmental Quality Curriculum Writing Team Member, 4x4 Curriculum Committee Member for Governor Keating, and District Textbook Selection Committee Member. Ms. Deason truly embodies the qualities of a lifelong learner and models this quality to her students and peers in Broken Arrow. And I will say from my experience, this is my second year in the position, and getting to work alongside Ms. Deason has been wonderful. I was asked to talk about her as a board member, and I was just so thrilled because for somebody with 33 years in education to still reach out to an instructional coach and continue to grow herself in the 2 years that I have been here is something that's very impressive. So thank you for helping us celebrate such a phenomenal educator.
I'm Deanne Deason. Boy, I feel old after hearing all that. It's like, what? No wonder it took 33 years to get all that done. I am a 1980 graduate of Broken Arrow High School, and I wore two little special rings tonight, one from my grandmother, that was a 1932 Broken Arrow High School graduate, and my mother, a 1956 Broken Arrow graduate. And I would like to recognize my father. He used to be the Broken Arrow band director when there was just one director that did elementary, middle, and high school, and the pride, the whole bit. Glenn Matthews is back here. Dad? Dad? You can't hear. So I'm so proud of him. This is really an honor, and I'm really excited to be recognized in my hometown. And I moved back to teach in Broken Arrow after my mother passed away, and my dad lives with me. And it's been a pleasure being back in my hometown. And Dr. Renner was also one of my professors. So I think I'm just going to leave it with this last little thing that he really impacted my career with. And he said, you know, teaching students is like a coat rack, and that there are little pegs that are in the coat rack. And then as a teacher, we toss these rings onto the pegs. And the first grade teacher, and then the second grade teacher, and the fifth and the ninth, and we toss these rings on the pegs. But in order to keep them from just falling right down to the ground like a coat would where there's no pegs, you have to find the pegs. And so our science director, I want to thank her because she has done a fantastic job of helping our district scaffolding our work and letting teachers find where are the other pegs so that we know where to toss the rings. And I want to thank my principal and all the vice principals too. They're phenomenal. And thank you for having me, and thank you for helping me celebrate this award. Thanks.
Well, it's
Ms.
obvious
Stevenson.
we are very blessed to have you in the district. I love the attitude of being a lifelong learner, and that's going to impact kids more than anything else. Just your yearning to do more and more. It's pretty amazing. Proud of you.
Ms. Thiessen, thank you for coming back home. We are very blessed to have you, and I wish that everyone that's in education that's from Broken Arrow would come back here just like you did. So, but thank you for coming home. Thank you for what you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, number 6.
Good evening, President Allen, Mr. Perry, members of the board. Tonight I get the honor of recognizing one of our amazing transportation leaders, Miss Kat Morrell. Kat has been serving as our lead bus aide for the past 3 years. Kat's passion for helping our student needs riders is infectious, and she has used that passion to drive the training and preparation of her fellow bus aides. Whether it's words of encouragement, valuable tips, or a shoulder to cry on, Kat truly cares about her aides and the students that they serve every day. Many times, Kat has utilized her personal money and time to grow as a leader. This past spring, Kat was nominated for the Bus Aide of the Year with the Oklahoma Pupil Transportation Association. I'm pleased to announce that our convention next week, she will be recognized as the 23-24 OAPT Bus Aide of the Year for the state of Oklahoma.
Would you like
Kat,
to say?
that microphone's all yours.
Hi. I love working here. I've lived here my whole life. My passion is to bring awareness to diversity and special needs. I transferred from being a lead para CNA in multi-handicap severe, and I worked in different classrooms before I went to multi-handicap severe. When I transferred to transportation, I fell in love with the atmosphere and the people there. It's like no other place in the district. I think Ms. Van Jackson, it's just its own world. One of the things that I really loved about that is you get to work with the kids, but I wanted to bring what I learned in the classroom there and try to make it universal, so when the bus aides interact with the teachers and the aides, they have exactly the same training and understand the dialogue of what to do. A lot of times, not to get preachy, I'm sorry, a lot of times we have aides, wonderful aides, passionate aides coming off the street, or people who are drivers coming off the street, and they don't always have the same educational experience of like de-escalation and stuff like that. So trying to get them on the same page so we're all working together as a unified team would actually, I think, would elevate us and put us above the goal, above the other districts. Not saying we're competing, but I think that would just help kids in general. I've noticed a big difference just before I came here, because there was a lot of administrators who did that as well. But coming here and just breaking down what we know about autism, what we know about sensory, different programs, what we use for like music therapy, or keeping volumes down in there, trying to escalate, not taking the reactions of the kids personally, has actually helped the safety of the transportation of the students. If they have an outburst on the bus, we're actually moving with other cars, so sometimes it is dangerous versus a classroom where you can just leave it. So sometimes utilizing these things to get all on the same board would help us, but also help us communicate with each other as a family and a unit of Broken Arrow schools. So that is my passion to push forward. Sorry for taking that as a moment to preach.
No, we love it, love it.
Hey, Kat, thank you for the insight. You know, as a board member, you know, just for me, you may hear, you know, a bus aide, and may not have any idea what you just explained, what goes on daily with what you're doing, and the depth that what you're doing, your job, and you can see your passion and love for what you're doing. Thank you for that, because I didn't know what
If
you
you
all
want
did.
more detail, I have it all written out.
I will say this, I will leave it with this. If it were up to me, you are a future leader in some area,
Absolutely.
moving forward somewhere to help us get better, because it sounds like you have a lot of great ideas and a lot of great training and expertise that we could utilize. So, but thank you for that knowledge and in-depth description of what you do.
Good stuff. Awesome.
These meetings are becoming funner and funner. We got so many great people, former people, employees, and lifelong, and just, man, I'm just proud to be here. Sorry, I just had to say that.
Well, you
Welcome to
created
summer.
a great segue for me to introduce for your approval a great individual to serve as the principal at Oakcrest Elementary. Elizabeth Early comes to us with experience like most of our principals don't have. She actually served 6 years as a principal secretary. During that time, she earned her bachelor's degree, and during that time, it was then she came to Broken Arrow. So she started as a first grade teacher at Wolf Creek, served, I believe, about 6 years at Wolf Creek, and then moved into a principal's position at Leisure Park. She was also an integral person when we opened our virtual academy. She was there on the ground floor and worked side by side with administration there, and also helped spearhead engagement activities for students. Like, they would do meetups, and she was the one that organized all that so that our virtual students could also have that time that they needed with their peers. And then she moved into an assistant principal position at Liberty Elementary, and I've told her several times she's had the longest running AP or principal interview than any of our principals, because during the time that Miss Orr was ill, Miss Early kept that building running without any issues whatsoever. And if there ever was an issue, I had no idea. So she has just done an excellent job and will make a great leader for Oakcrest Elementary.
Any questions?
Make a motion to approve?
A second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Is she here?
She is here.
Miss Early, you have any special guests?
I do. I brought lots of family. I brought my fiance, my mom, my sister, my uncle, my aunt, and my cousin.
Oh, great support. All right.
Well, do you want to say anything? We want to congratulate you, so.
I just want to say thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. I am very excited to be part of the Oak Crest family. I've already been able to hang out with some of them, and just walking in the building alone is just a beautiful thing. I love Broken Arrow. As Ms. Peterson said, I came to Broken Arrow and I interned. I fell in love with the city, the district, everything immediately, and I knew this is exactly where I wanted to be. So I thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to an amazing year next year, and I can't wait to see it all.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Mr. Sappington.
Good
next item.
evening, Mr. Perry, President Allen, and members of the board. Tonight, we are seeking your approval to hire Gentry Gwynn as the principal at Centennial Middle School. Mrs. Gwynn is currently serving as an assistant principal at Broken Arrow High School and has experience in another district as a high school principal. She also taught at one of BA's elementary schools in the past. So she is she's very well-rounded with a lot of great experience, and we are excited to have her come on board into this new leadership role.
Questions or discussion?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Ms. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Is she here this evening,
She
Mr.
is.
Sappington? Congratulations. Any special guests? There we go. All right. Would you like to say anything? Thank you. Good luck next year. Mr. Sappington, you're still up.
I have a few more. This is exciting. Kind of feel like Jennifer, spreading the good news. Okay, so the next individual we are seeking your approval for is Nate Hutchings as the principal at Oliver Middle School. As you know, Mr. Hutchings has been serving as the principal at Rosewood Elementary since 2020, and then Mr. Hutchings also served as principal at Arrowhead. Before Arrowhead, he was an AP at Oliver Middle School from 2014 to 2016. Mr. Hutchings is well respected by his teachers and peers, and we are excited to have him take on this new opportunity.
No. Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Is he here this evening?
He is.
Thought I saw him over there.
I also have guests. I have my beautiful wife, Leah. Faith, who will be a junior at the high school next year. Lainey is going to be an 8th grader at Children's Middle School, and Noah is going to be a 6th grader. My last one in elementary just left this year, so he's going to be a 6th grader at Childers. I just want to take a minute to say thank you. I've been in Broken Arrow for 11 years now. Truly grateful for the opportunities that this district has given me, and just the fact that I can call it home, and it's home to my kids as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item, Mr. Sappington.
Okay, the next individual we are seeking your approval for is Mr. Warren Metcalf as assistant principal at Oneida Ridge Middle School. Mr. Metcalf has recently served as a history teacher and a dean at Broken Arrow High School. He has some great experiences in education, the military, and even owning his own business, and has found a passion in the pursuit of making a difference in kids' lives in schools. We're looking forward to seeing the great work that Mr. Metcalf will do as an assistant principal at Oneida Ridge Middle School.
Questions or discussion?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion second, please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Is he here this evening?
He's here. I want to thank the board and Mr. Perry for this wonderful opportunity. I got a chance to work with Evan from high school for the last 3 years as a dean of attendance. I look forward to getting that experience in my new position and continuing to support the families of students here in this wonderful community of Broken Arrow. And I would like to introduce my wonderful wife, Jean.
Congratulations, Mr. Metcalf. Next item.
All
Mr.
right,
Sapp, the
last one. The next individual we are seeking your approval for is Mrs. Desiree Hall as assistant principal at Broken Arrow High School. Mrs. Hall has been an assistant principal at a different district, but is coming back to BA. She was a teacher and a coach at Sequoia Middle School in the past. Mrs. Hall will come into this position with a great experience as a teacher, coach, and assistant principal, and she is excited to join the administrative team at Broken Arrow High School.
Like you said, other district. That's, the one she's coming from, they're not bad over there. They're pretty nice people. Any discussion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll, please.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Is she here?
She is on a trip to Costa Rica, so she
Well,
wanted
I
to be
take
here.
back what I just said. We'll have to have her come back in the fall.
Yeah, we can. She said she'd be willing to do that, for
All
sure.
right.
Thank you.
Mr. Sapman, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next item, number 12. Mr. Perry?
Yes, I'm bringing forward a resolution in regard to being appointed to the Board of Regents for the Regional University System of Oklahoma, and bringing that information forward to you and vote.
Okay. Mr. Perry is very modest and will never say anything nice about himself. But he's got this honor that he has been asked to serve on this board and has been appointed and confirmed by our state legislators to serve on this rural university board, and gives us a seat at the table. I'm very proud of you and want to thank you for putting yourself out there and doing that to represent our high school, or our district. So he would never brag about himself, but it's a big deal. There's not, I don't know of any other high schools, especially large schools, that are on those boards. So it's a big deal. He doesn't think it is, but it is. So we just want to tell you we appreciate you and thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
And the reason we're doing, just in full disclosure, his contract does allow him to do that, but we felt it was important to, one, recognize him, and two, that the board pass a resolution in favor of him serving in that capacity, so.
Doing so, I'll read the resolution.
Okay.
Resolution of the Board of Education of the Broken Arrow Public Schools regarding Superintendent Chuck Perry's service as a member of the Board of Regents for the Regional University System of Oklahoma. Whereas Chuck R. Perry is employed by the Broken Arrow Public Schools as its superintendent under a written contract approved by the Board of Education. Whereas the superintendent's contract contains, among other matters, provisions related to professional dues and civic organizations, compensation from outside sources in writing, teaching, speaking activities. Whereas Governor Kevin Stitt has nominated Chuck R. Perry to serve as a member of the Board of Regents for the Regional University System of Oklahoma, RUSO. Whereas on May 29th, 2024, Oklahoma Senate confirmed Chuck R. Perry to serve as a member of the Board of Regents for RUSO. Whereas students of the Broken Arrow Public Schools have attended currently and attend and will attend Oklahoma Regional Universities governed by the Board of Regents for RUSO. Whereas the Board of Education believes that Mr. Perry's service as a member of the Board of Regents for Russo serves the interests of the students of Broken Arrow Public Schools and is in the best interest of the Broken Arrow Public Schools. And whereas the Board of Education is proud of Mr. Perry's selection and confirmation as a member of the Board of Regents for Russo. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Education, Broken Arrow Public Schools as follows. The service of Chuck R. Perry as a member of the Board of Regents for Russo is consistent with and permitted by the terms of Mr. Perry's superintendent contract. The service of Chuck R. Perry as a member of the Board of Regents for Russo is hereby approved by the Board of Education of the Broken Arrow Public School, and the Board of Education commends Mr. Perry on his selection and confirmation as a member of the Board of Regents for Russo, dated 3rd day of January.
Do I have a motion to pass the resolution?
I'll make a motion to pass the resolution.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Mr. Perry, thank you again.
No, thank you.
Congratulations.
My only demand was there was plenty of whereases in that resolution, so.
I just hope we didn't get charged for every whereas, right?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Next item will be comments from the public. We have none. Next item will be the general consent items 15 through 96. Discussion?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Thank you. Next item, Ms. Enoff.
Good evening, President Allen, Mr. Perry, members of the board, seeking your approval tonight to enter into negotiations for the 24-25 school year with BAEA.
Any questions?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Are you just logging those, or do we need to vote?
I don't,
It came up a
it's
minute
moving
later.
really slow, so
Okay.
I apologize.
It's all Lee's fault. We'll just move on
Yeah.
and let you
Go ahead.
log it. Mr. Stecker, please.
Well,
Next
good evening,
item.
everyone. I'm excited about this item here. I'm asking you guys, seeking your approval for a 3% stipend calculated according to their step on the 24-25 teacher compensation schedule for all special education teachers, speech paths, psychologists, psychometrists for the 24-25 school year. The total cost for this increase is $370,000.
Mr. Stecker, I want to commend you and your staff for taking initiatives to do that and recognize the need for that and the hard work that they do. So I just want to say thank you.
I make a motion, whoops, sorry, our screen wiped out for, make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
I will say, mention that is a integral part of trying to retain and attract the best special education teachers in the state. As their numbers are growing, I think that's a crucial thing. As long as we can financially be responsible and are able to do it, I don't think many districts besides Broken Arrow are adding this extra 3%. So I hope our team realizes we do value them and we want to keep them here. And if anybody is watching this in another district, we'd love to have you as a sped teacher in Broken Arrow because we value our teachers so much. So
You get Tara and her marketing team on
we-
that to
we-
send that out.
we've got openings.
But Mr. Perry, I totally agree. I mean, especially for that role, I mean, I know it can be a challenging role and capacity to be able to fulfill those. And again, accolades to you guys for helping us with recognizing the need and the ability to be able to pass these things on. But again, I think, it just goes back to us really wanting to be the best district out there and attract the best talent. And what are the steps we need to do in order to get that done?
Absolutely.
And so I think this is just one of those things. So thank you again.
And I think equally as important too is, I believe you guys had staff talk to you about their concerns about those things, and you listened, and found ways to help them in those areas. So, I mean, what employer would you not want to work for that's going to do that? So,
I want to applaud Ms. Thorpe as well. Daylene is
yeah,
a big part of this.
absolutely. Just want to thank you all very much. And again, Mr. Perry said we have lots of openings, so if you're listening, sign up. Can you give them the website, Mr. Perry?
baschools.org.
There we go. Next item, Ms. McNally.
Good evening, President Allen, Mr. Perry, and members of the board. I'm here tonight to seek your approval for the commodity processing fees for child nutrition for this coming school year. The following companies will be Tyson's Chicken for $181,435.50, Smucker's for $34,878.50, Asian Food Solutions for $205,245.60, Rich's Chicken for $43,833.50, and McCain's Potatoes for $177,567.50, and Genio Turkey for $43,400.40, for the total of $686,361 for the next school year. That was a lot of dollars. Tongue twister.
I was fine with you just reading the total amount because you gave us it all listed.
You know,
but-
I was thinking about that, but then I
was not
figured there'd be a
gonna cut you
question,
off.
so.
No,
Made me
you're
hungry.
Doing a great job.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion second, please call the roll.
Great.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes, thank you. Next item,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Moore.
Good evening once again. I'm seeking your approval for the purchase of one 14-passenger activity bus and one 71-passenger activity bus in a total amount of $323,713 from Holt Truck Center for both buses utilizing 2015 bond funds. All bidding was conducted pursuant to the competitive bidding laws. We did have another vendor that was low on the small bus, but their specs did not match ours, and they weren't able to meet our specifications, so.
These are air conditioned, Mr.
Yes, these are activity buses, yeah.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion second, please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes, thank you. Next item.
Thank you. I'm also seeking your approval for the purchase of 5 77-passenger propane-powered school buses from Ross Transportation in the amount of $774,745, utilizing 2015 bond funds. All bidding was conducted pursuant to competitive bid laws. As transportation continues to change and evolve, we had to look at some alternative fuel vehicles. We have some fears that with EPA regulations and things like that, that diesel buses at some point are going to be outlawed or become so expensive to operate that it's just not feasible anymore. So we looked at electric, we looked at CNG, looked at propane, looked at gasoline, looked at continuing diesel, and we felt this was our best option moving forward. Another change on these buses is that they are air conditioned. So these will be our first air conditioned school route buses. So.
It's a great thing right there alone.
The drivers are going to be fighting to get in those, aren't they?
They will. We'll probably have to have some type of lottery or something. Yeah, maybe the ones with perfect attendance.
There you go. We could probably get a bond pass to get some more of those buses before school started.
That'd be
So-
awesome.
That's great. Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Sure.
Any questions, discussion?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion second, please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes, next item, new business,
Thank
we
you.
have none. Next item is 103, to go to executive session.
I'm asked,
Am I in the wrong one?
no, I was gonna.
Go ahead,
no,
Mr. Perry.
I was just gonna, ask for your motion to approve or disapprove moving into executive session to discuss proposed negotiations with the Broken Arrow Education Association.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second, please call the roll.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Sorry, Ms. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes, thank you all. 104.
I'm bringing to you discussion, motion, and vote on motion to approve or disapprove moving into executive session to conduct confidential communications between the board and its attorney concerning the Lena Black versus Broken Arrow Public Schools and Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2. The board has been advised by its attorney that disclosure would seriously impair the ability of the school district to conduct the pending litigation in the public interest pursuant to Oklahoma Statute 25307B4.
I make a motion that we move into executive session.
I'll second.
Motion and second, please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes, thank you.
ahead. All right. The Board of Education and Morgan Renner, Bo Rainey, Rusty Stecker, Natalie Eniff, and Chuck Perry entered into executive session at 6:39 PM to discuss proposed negotiations with Broken Arrow Education Association, BAEA, pursuant to OS 25, Section 307B2. No other matters were discussed and no votes were taken. The Board of Education returned to open session at 7:42 PM. This constitutes the minutes of executive session.
Okay, next item would be 105. As a matter of policy approval, I'd ask that we table this with an absentee board member.
Make a motion to approve.
I second.
Motion and second, please call the roll to table item 105.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item 106.
Discussion, motion, and vote on motion to approve or disapprove a settlement in Lena Black versus Broken Arrow Public Schools in Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2.
Okay.
Mhm. Yes, case number CJ 2023-1695, District Court of Tulsa County, and to authorize the superintendent on behalf of the Board of Education to execute all documents necessary to effectuate the settlement as consistent with the discussions had in executive session.
I make a motion to approve.
I second.
Got a motion and a second, please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Abstain.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
And Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Got a motion and a second, please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes, thank you.